Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?
You no longer care. It means, I've let go. He's, he manages himself and he looks after himself, and I say, fine. I've done nothing but gift this young man a career, a name, a face. The respect that I garnered from all those years, those 24 World Championship fights. Never mind the wins, just look at the losses. Look at the man that I had to be. And then what? I'm going to have my boy tell me how to do this? He's going to tell me he's the boss? No, he just doesn't appreciate how good things have always been. But, by the by now, and, I will put you, look, you see, you've got people that, you aspire to be like. He picked Floyd Mayweather Jr. because he shows the bling, he shows the planes, he shows the money. He shows the girls. He's got clubs. I admire the man. He is a brilliant and fabulous fighter. I admire him as a fighter. As a man, don't talk to me about him. That's not, no, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, they're men. They lead by example. You're teaching my boy to be a bling kid. He's looking up to you, Mr. Mayweather. No. And so that's why he didn't listen. And now the world is looking at him as though he's a greedy little pig.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is Backchat TV. Oh man, just got this leaked interview with Spencer Fearon and what's the other guy's name? Ajayi. Very interesting interview indeed. Chris Eubank Sr. absolutely scathing attack on his son. Very unhappy with many different things concerning his son. He's unhappy with the fact that he chose to go ahead with a fight because of the weight issue. He claims that his son has not been listening to him. He claims that, Senior says that he's had a long career and he has a lot of experience in the boxing game with promoters and all sorts of different people that are involved in the boxing, in the underworld as well, people who don't have your best interests at heart. And he tried to teach his son, he's tried to teach Junior about all of these things and to follow his lead about how to make business decisions, and his son is no longer listening and thinks he's his own man, wants to go at the business by himself, and doesn't really want the experience of his dad or the influence of his dad around anymore. That was the general impression I got from this interview. He also was unhappy about the fact that Junior, instead of seeing his father as a mentor, he's actually looked to Floyd Mayweather Jr. This seemed to be something that he was very upset about. He said that his son admires the fast cars and the chartered aeroplanes and all these different, the jet or whatever he owns, and the women and all this stuff that Floyd Mayweather always flaunts, all these money and expensive watches and things like that, his houses and stuff. And he seems to think that this is a big distraction, and he seems to think that Floyd Mayweather is a bad role model. Well, I don't actually agree with Chris Eubank Sr. on this at all. I think the total opposite. I actually think that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is an amazing role model, but I get the point of what he's saying. Floyd Mayweather, I think, on the surface, he seems like someone who is just all about money and flashy things, and I think this is what Eubank is talking about. But I think he's actually not exactly like that. He's actually a very disciplined person who's works hard and who actually takes care of his family and is actually quite a good man, and he's matured a little bit now as he's got older. Remember, he was young as well in his career when he was buying all these things and he got money from an early age. He's matured a lot. I think he's matured into quite a like a sophisticated individual, a role model that can show a lot of kids how to make it in boxing. So I don't agree that he's a bad influence. Obviously, he's not perfect. He does show the trappings of money and things like that. But I think a lot of that is kind of a bit of a smokescreen for how hard he really works. It's just one of the things that I feel is an example of his success, if you see what I mean. Money is one of the things that is an example of success, and so he shows it off. But I don't really think that's all he's about. But I do understand what Cena's getting at here. Floyd Mayweather definitely prioritizes money and financial gains all the time, and that's what Eubank doesn't like. And he feels that his son is looking up to Floyd Mayweather and wanting to be like him and kind of taking him off that path of being a respectable human being, basically. So he was very angry about that. He didn't like the fact that he told his son not to go ahead with the fight with Conor Benn, because at his age, in his 30s, it's very difficult to come down from 168. He fought at 168 at some point, to come down to below 160 pounds. 157, I think it was, he had to make, and he said that was just too much. 159, he thought that was too much to make. And on top of that, for there to be a rehydration clause, it makes it unsafe, which I completely agree with Eubank Sr. on this one. Getting down to a weight that you haven't been at since you were 18 is difficult enough, but then to not be able to fully hydrate to your normal weight is very dangerous, because actually you're not able to really hydrate. Even water, which we all know in a fight is like one of the most important things. To be rehydrated is one of the most important things, otherwise you can get brain damage. So Senior, being a father, was upset about this, and so he felt like his son was not listening to him. He said that his son kind of want to go ahead of it because he was just looking at the money and how much money he can make. And he feels that Junior has now made himself look stupid and look like a greedy pig, in his own words. He called his own son a greedy pig because he's just looking at the money and the things that he can buy, and it's not showing any integrity, which I think is what he was getting at. Which I don't really agree with Senior on this. I get exactly what he's saying, but I don't really agree. I think that Chris Eubank Jr. I don't think he's seen as being a pig and being a greedy pig as he said that the media has seen him as that. I think that it's the opposite. I think that they're all behind him because Conor Benn has, tested positive. People are looking up to Eubank as a role model, hard worker. He made the fight happen. He had a large impact on the promotion of the fight and everything. So I think people are behind Eubank and actually feel sorry for the fact that, he didn't get the fight. And they love the warrior spirit, the fact that he still went to go ahead, even though, he Ben tested positive and stuff like that. I don't really agree with that. Another complaint that Senior made was he spoke about Conor Benn actually being innocent. He actually believes wholeheartedly that Conor Benn is innocent, which I didn't see that coming. I have to say, I thought that this was one of the reasons why. I thought that he heard the news that he had tested positive, and from that moment he wanted to stop the fight. But apparently he didn't know anything about it. He still believes that Conor Benn is innocent, and that he said he knows Conor Benn personally, seen him grow up, and he believes that he's a warrior, and he doesn't believe he would ever do something like that. And that view is actually in the minority. But funny enough, he's not the only person that believes that. Another guy, Cordina, another boxer, who is another friend of Conor Benn, he also says that he doesn't believe that Conor Benn cheated. He said that it's a tablet it's in tablet form. It's not injectable, which means it could be put in his food. It could be in some kind of meal that he had that he didn't realize, or he took it in some supplement, or someone gave it to him and he didn't realize that it was dangerous. And he said that it could be some kind of mistake. He said that he's seen Conor Benn get tested so many times that there would be no point. It would be stupid to take anything because they have regular testing. This was Cordina, the boxer. He said he knows Conor Benn quite well. It's impossible that he would have taken something. So, yeah, there are a few people who think he's innocent, but Eubank Sr was one of them, which was the one that surprised me. And after everything that's happened, I thought he would be a supporter of his son, how his son handled the whole thing. I think his son was amazing the way he handled the whole issue with Conor Benn. But no, Senior was upset with his son and the recent decisions he's made. So yeah, definitely there's a big rift there, and definitely going to see how that plays out. My views on the whole thing with Conor Benn and everything, I'm a fan of Conor Benn, but some people say you should wait to see what's happened with the investigation stuff. I don't think there's much to wait for. The B sample is very much likely to be the same as the A sample, so it's going to show that it was in his system. If Conor Benn knew where it came from in his system, he would have said so. He would have said, I took this product, this is where it came from. He hasn't said, because he doesn't know, and this would be his excuse. If he had an excuse, he would have given it already. He said he doesn't know and he's going to investigate where it came from. I don't think that there's going to be any way of proving his innocence. So unfortunately, not being able to prove your innocence means you're guilty. If you can't prove you're innocent, it's going to mean you're guilty in this particular situation, because the evidence shows it was in your system. So if you don't know where it came from, then that's really the end of it. So I don't really see how he's going to be able to prove himself innocent. And I think the fight shouldn't have gone ahead, which it didn't, because you cannot have drugs in your system or any kind of performance enhancement in your system. So I think he's wrong for that. I think he should get a ban. Whether it's 2 years or it's 4 years or whatever is the ban, a few months or whatever it is, he should serve his ban, and that's the end of it, really. I don't think that it's really complicated. He doesn't have to prove that, he doesn't know where it came from or anything like that. If it's in your system, it's in your system. It's on the list, it's on the list. Your ban is quite black and white in my view. Still a fan of Conor Benn, but, you can't take performance enhancements in boxing, in martial arts. You just can't do that, and I think it's definitely a ridiculous move to try and make, especially where apparently he was tested quite a few times leading up to the fight. So anyway, that's what I've got. That's all I've got for now. Have to see how this whole thing plays out. But yes, Eubank Sr. very upset with his son over recent things that he's done, including a few fights beforehand, even where he said that he wasn't really listening to him. He said he's his own man and he wants to listen to himself, and he said he's ungrateful. He really said a few things about his son. He said he was ungrateful. He doesn't know how good he's always had it. He hasn't realised that his dad has paved the way. He shouldn't be looking up to people like Floyd Mayweather with their kind of bling bling, as he called it. He should instead be looking up to people like Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali, who are real men, apparently. This is what he said in the interview. Yeah, so we'll have to see how this plays out. Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back? If you enjoyed my content, please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing to my videos. Thank you.